everybody, it's Jeff here once again with Entrepreneur Essentials, and this one's a really special one today. I'm here with my friend Mike Hundley, and Mike and I have known each other for, probably 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
The scary part is we haven't seen each other in probably 21 of those. We used to work together years and years and years ago. Mike is who hired me into the financial services industry. This is going to be a fun one today, and you are going to learn a ton about really the entrepreneur spirit, the financing of entrepreneur spirit, and really how you can kind of adjust to craziness that happens in your life. So, Mike, thanks for coming.
Well, it's really good to see you. It should not have been that long. I think we've had a phone relationship more than a friendship. But anyway, it's great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about, you left the financial services industry in, 2000 or 2002?
Actually, I stayed in it. After big corporate, we were together, and I continued that for a few more years, and then went out to be sort of a journeyman business consultant in 2002. And that was the first real entrepreneurial experience I think that I had professionally. I mean, everybody mows a lawn when they're a kid and convinces your aunt, uncle, and sister they need to pay you for babysitting or something, but that was the real first. And I stayed in financial services until 2011. And then I took a year off and thought, what do I do next? And then went right into technology.
So you now took over a firm that you're at as CEO.
I did. So, interesting story. It's a software company, a document management company. Unlike PDF, it actually automates the movement of an active file, but it can redact and black out information, auto-populate, so a human doesn't even need to attend to a scanning process. We're used heavily in the government and the judicial justice systems. In 2015, we moved more into the non-court systems to expand our business, and we've had quite a bit of success there. So we really took advantage of a situation that was a bad situation. We lost our founder, and so I was an interim CEO. I was supposed to be there for a year, and I'm 7 years this next month. So they can't get rid of me. I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun. So I miss financial services, but I'm not looking back. I'm having a really good time.
Well, I mean, you've grown the company over that time period, and it sounds like it took a little bit of a different path.
It did. It was a distress situation, and really, when I went to the entrepreneurial side in 2002, it was still trying to turn up a company, and so I really wanted to be a financial value-driven manager. But it turns out that the best way to get into that is to be a distress manager and start at the bottom. So as long as you don't go any lower than when you get it, I think you're fine. But we've done really well. The business problems are the same no matter what product you have. So all the experiences that I've drawn from big corporate, but then also going into entrepreneur and having some wins and losses, that's what we've applied at Vista. And so it didn't surprise me after a year that the owners wanted to go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy serving them, and then I'm a stakeholder too. So I have to get up in the morning, but I like getting up in the morning.
Now, you had a pretty good chunk of your life as you came down here on the VC side.
Well,
and
right.
Angel side.
Really on the angel side. And I think it was just sort of an offset of being in financial services. So really, even though I left Fidelity and JP Morgan, I went and worked for a regional investment bank and brokerage firm. Again, you're in the business of raising money, whether it's from a retail investor or for an institutional investor. And so you end up just sort of going into that fold. So it's private equity, venture capitalists, angels, and it's a side of the business I really enjoy, and I still like to participate in it. But raising money suddenly becomes the most important element of that business, and so that's a continuation of what we did when we worked together, and it still continues to this day.
Sure.
But for the most part, having those relationships and contacts to me always feels like a safety net. Because if you get in a situation that you don't really understand, or you're troubled, or you're having some fail points, you can always pick up the phone and call somebody that's been through it before. And sometimes you need capital to solve those problems, and sometimes you don't want to take other people's capital. You can do it on your own.
Yeah.
And keep it all to yourself.
But it's nice to have the advice.
Absolutely. I believe mentorship is probably the most important element of being an entrepreneur. I mean, I know that being an entrepreneur, you have that spirit and you want to do it your own in your way, but you got to listen to somebody, and customers are really important ones to listen to.
I try and mentor somebody. I try and have friends that are at the same point as me, and I have people that are far beyond where I'm at right now that I use as mentors. That I think you have to have it all.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah. What's new in your world now?
We have, of course, stabilized our company, and we saw the turning point in 2015. We thought we could stabilize it within a couple of years, and we were showing progress, but really the turning point was 2015. And what we had done is we had gone out and talked to the customers and said, what else do you need? What is this not doing? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? And what we found is that the solution that Vista had was actually very well revered.
Okay.
And that DMS Solutions is an evolution of a document management solution from a long time ago. And so they wanted it for their non-court systems to be able to have it stand alone. And so I felt at that point, we're going to have an identity crisis here. We're either going to be stuck in the courts with third parties that control our destiny, or we might be able to come with a standalone solution for a non-court. So we built a product based on what the customers wanted, an offshoot of what we had, made it easy to interact with, made it affordable, easy to use. And so we have more customers in the product that we launched in 2016 than the company had acquired in the first 12 years of business.
You broaden your market so much more than that very focused market.
And we're still in the government sector because it's easy to get a referral from a good relationship in a state or a county or a federal system. But now the product that we're launching in 2019, next year, is really it's the most exciting product that we have so far, but it actually has a lot of value packed into it compared to competitors. So somebody can sort of fire and forget. So if they scan a document, it will auto-populate the index field so they don't have to type in the indexing, and it's a uniform system. And it can be a different document type, and it'll still index it with a high degree of certainty, but it also redacts. Email it from your phone, you can scan it from your phone. And so what that does is it opens up the business-to-business market to the small business owner or somebody that's even a septic company that's doing permitting. That's where we have a test that'll come out, but they can scan their permit or the work order. It'll be at the office waiting for them. It's done, they can go to the next job. So the amount of efficiency that creates is incredible. And so we don't talk about how it saves them money. It's actually an investment at this point.
Yeah. Are you a complete SaaS solution, or is there any hardware involved at all?
No, interesting thing is the market really has changed a lot. When I took over the company in 2012, the customers in the government sector, in the middle, micros, and medium markets, the cloud was too dangerous. It's going to be hacked, and there's sensitive information. Today, they have to have it.
Yeah, it's like the exact opposite.
Right, and so the products that we have it's a full service, attentive implementation process, but we also wrap it up with data loss prevention tools, and so it goes on a local server. However, we can host our solution, but the new one coming out will be a SaaS model,
okay.
And so they'll be able to access through a portal or their phone app.
So do you use like a data farm, like an Amazon Web Service type of?
We'll be using a platform similar to that. And the other cool tool that we'll be providing is, because our customers were government, sort of forced us into a situation where you have to protect that data. We know this from financial services. The biggest thefts come from inside, where somebody takes customer lists and information. And so antiviruses don't protect. So the other tool that we have available that we'll be launching next year with another partner is an internal monitoring service. If confidential information is being passed to the right people, it's a non-event. But if somebody gets a hold of confidential information or something like that, then there's an alert system that's built into it. And that's really important for the government. But as we move into the business sector, I think banks, financial services, yeah, and it's underserviced because technology needs it. So we're very excited about what's going on. I think the next 3 years are going to be the best 3, and I think if they are, that'd be a good time for me to retire. Which will probably never happen if you talk to my wife.
So, fast 5 questions.
Okay.
All right, so you wake up in the morning, business is gone. $500 in your pocket, laptop, computer, place to live, clothes and food. What do you do first?
That sounds like 2015. before. Well, the first thing I would do is probably go get some comfort food and think about what I wanted to do. But I think what I would probably do is, I'm fortunate enough, I think I've got something to share. And I love mentoring. I love teaching things. I think that's a big part of being a CEO, is being a teacher. So what I would do is I would probably go buy a $99 GoDaddy website, set up a coaching practice, have it done in a week, order a Vistaprint inexpensive business card to hand to people, and then I'd go on my LinkedIn and I'd pull off my list and I'd probably call every single person I know and say, where can I help you? Where can I help you improve? And of course, most of them would say, no, I'm good, and I would pull out all the skeletons and say, no, I think you need a little help here. And
you're a mess.
so I would hustle. Yeah.
What's your biggest entrepreneurial mistake?
Definitely bringing on board investors or stakeholders that don't have the same entrepreneurial spirit or value system that you have. If there's too much entitlement in their mind for who they are rather than what they can give back to the company, then that's a huge mistake, and I've made that mistake. Don't take on a bad investor. There's
bad partners or bad investors.
There's nothing better than having a good investor that can help you be successful. If they care about their money, they would. There's nothing worse than having a bad investor. Maybe they made some money from going public or something, and they weren't in an entrepreneurial job. Those expectations will not align. And the other thing I think, just because I have to throw that in there, is most ventures fail from a lack of sales effort.
Yeah.
And I think if you're failing, pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
And have them buy it for you, because like your parents, when you were so replicable.
Look around the room and see the salesperson, guess what? You're the salesperson.
Yeah, hello.
What is a good book that you recommend?
There's a really fast read that I recommend, and if most of the entrepreneurs are type A like me, and I like pictures, and I'm still the kind of guy who likes PowerPoint.
There you go.
People make fun of that. No, I love PowerPoint. Put some pictures on it and keep it bulleted. The $100 Startup.
Yes.
Chris Gilbro. And I love the chapter on how to make the perfect pitch.
Yeah.
I think that just epitomizes the book. But that's a really good one. It's a fast read.
What's a good tool that you use every day in your business?
The phone.
Okay.
It's not only a good tool, I think today it's a competitive advantage, because even the competitors in our space still really like to use Outlook, email, spamming, social media, and I think that's great. I think now it's not a barrier to entry, it's a necessity to compete. But the phone is the most important tool. I mean, you pick up the phone and call somebody and then go see them.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned way of doing business is timeless. It's time-tested, it's proven. And when I go visit customers, I always come back with more orders, always. Yeah. And I think that's from developing relationships. And so I want our sales representatives and our client management team to do the same thing.
How do people get a hold of you?
You know, I have Facebook, and I've been made fun of by my children. I'm on LinkedIn, but call me, send me an email. I'm very generous with my time, and it's a flaw that I have. But I think that we're here to help other people, and you know, at some point, I think when I'm old and out of money, somebody that I helped, I'll show up at their front door, and they'll cook me a delicious meal, probably offer me a job.
And I will cook you a meal.
I'm going to hold you to that. I think it's memorialized now, so it has to happen.
It has to happen.
And he's a great cook from what I can tell.
So thanks for coming. It was great catching back up, and we definitely need to do more of this.
What a pleasure to be here. Thank you for letting me come and visit with you, and
more than welcome.
Find more excuses to hang out.
Thanks a lot once again. We're glad to have you here. Make sure you subscribe right down below Mike's foot. We are shooting a ton of these shows over the next month, and there's going to be some other little special things that we do. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, otherwise you're not going to see them. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you here next time.